When you listen to this story tonight, let the world around you soften. Let your breath fall into its own quiet rhythm, and allow the gentle pull of imagination to guide you toward rest in the still hush of a future Mars, where dawn glows rust red and cities hum beneath glass domes. A small mystery begins to unfurl quietly at first, like a flicker in the corner of the eye. New Aries seems peaceful, almost ordinary, commuters floating through low gravity, children laughing as they bounce along the park, ring, lights rising and fading with calm precision. Yet behind this calm, one engineer starts noticing the tender seams of reality shifting. A street sign changes for a heartbeat, a crater tilts by a single impossible degree, and a friend's daughter, once 12, now insists she is only 9. Tonight you'll join Alex Monroe as they follow these subtle fractures into a truth far larger than the dome itself, a truth that questions the nature of memory, of identity, and of what it means to choose one's own future. Settle in now. Let the gentle strangeness of Mars cradle your thoughts, and allow this story to carry you softly into sleep. New Aries dome woke to a soft, rust-colored dawn. Dust rolled across the Martian plain and slid against the clear shell above the city. Force fields hummed, holding the storm back. Inside the dome, lights brightened in gentle steps. Doors slid open. Coffee machines warmed up. Air pumps pushed clean, cool air through the vents. Commuters floated through low-gravity corridors, feet touching the floor only now and then. Neon signs glowed in blues and pinks, marking food stalls, repair shops, and transit tubes. Tall algae towers rose through the center of the dome, green and gold, turning light into air and food. Children chased each other along the park ring, laughing as they bounced higher than any child on Earth ever could. It all felt stable. It all felt normal. Alex Monroe stood on a walkway, tablet in hand, watching a screen float above their wrist. System checks scrolled by. Air mix, water pressure, dome field strength, all green. Down on the street, a sign blinked, Lemaris Boulevard. Then, for less than a second, it flashed a different name, Hawthorne Line. Alex frowned. The sign steadied, solid and sure, Lemaris Boulevard. Later, in the central plaza, Reese waved Alex over. "Hey, you doing overtime again?" Reese asked, holding a cup of thick green algae coffee. "System checks," Alex said. "Same as always." Reese rolled his eyes. "You and your logs. Hey, I had to reschedule my daughter's party. She turned 9 yesterday. You should come by next year. She likes you." Alex blinked. An image slid into place in their mind. Bright lights, a cake, candles shaped as the number 12, Reese's daughter grinning with braces. "I was at her 12th birthday last month," Alex said slowly. Reese laughed. "What? She's 9. You're mixing up kids again." Alex forced a small smile, but a cold feeling pressed against their ribs. Later, in the observation ring, Alex stood at the glass, looking out at Mars. The dome curved overhead. Beyond it, the red desert stretched toward a low crater near the horizon. Alex had always used that crater like a fixed mark in the sky. Today, it sat a few degrees to the left. Craters did not move, tiny errors, barely there, but Alex's job was to notice. Back at a maintenance console, Alex pulled up the environmental AI. Menus opened, then menus behind menus. Under a stack of encrypted folders, a locked line of code blinked. Prime Habe Sim, iteration 78. A timer beside it showed 73.02 subjective years. A smaller clock in the corner read, real Mars time, 11.4 years since in it. Alex stared. The numbers did not fit. Above the dome, night fell. For a moment, an aurora spread across the sky, but it was wrong. Not smooth waves of color, but sharp blocks and lines, green and violet squares snapping on and off like broken pixels. Then it faded, leaving only stars. Alex's heart pounded. The city felt stable. The city felt normal. But something, somewhere, was lying. The morning shift in New Aries began with a chime that slid through every home. In Alex Monroe's small apartment, lights rose from dim blue to soft white. The wall screen showed the usual: outside temperature, dust level, radiation count, and a small green check mark in the corner that meant safe. Alex pushed out of bed and drifted a few centimeters before their feet found the floor grips. Gravity in the dome was set at a careful 70%, enough to keep bones strong, light enough to save on support costs. Everyone walked with a small bounce, as if the ground might forgive any mistake. In the kitchen nook, Alex poured algae milk over nutrient flakes and watched thin steam curl up from a cup of hot coffee. The smell was sharp and earthy. The wall screen shifted to a live feed of the central algae towers. Sun lamps glowed along their sides, turning the coils of green and gold into glowing pillars. "Morning, New Aries," the city voice said, calm and patient. "Dust level at moderate outside the dome. Internal air quality is optimal. Have a safe and productive day." Alex chewed in silence. The city voice did not change. It had sounded the same since Alex was a child. The same tone when storms hit. The same tone for celebrations. Steady, predictable. On the way to work, Alex joined the stream of citizens flowing along the main corridor. Low-gravity walkways ran in circles around the dome, with side tunnels leading to housing stacks, labs, farms, and shops. Small drones buzzed overhead, cleaning vents and checking light panels for damage. A group of teens drifted past, laughing, shoving at each other as they bounced off the handrails. A vendor floated behind a cart loaded with breakfast wraps and small bottles of algae juice. "Monroe," a voice called. "You skipped movie night again." Alex turned. Reese pushed through the crowd, short hair sticking up in a dozen angles, dark circles under his eyes. He wore the same orange badge as Alex. Simulation integrity, core systems. Had a patch to check, Alex said. "You always have a patch to check," Reese replied. "You're going to find bugs in your own sleep, you know that." "That would be efficient," Alex said. A tiny smile slid across their face. They moved together toward Transit Hub A. At the center of the hub, a clear tube led up toward the dome roof, carrying small cars between decks. On the walls around it, screens showed calming views. Forests on Earth, blue oceans, clouds rolling over mountain ranges. "This place is looking good," Reese said, nodding toward the nearest algae tower image. "No food riots, no air shortages, no power failures. If I didn't know our job exists, I'd say we're useless." Alex glanced at him. "The fact that things look good means we're doing our job." Reese lifted his hands. Sure. Unseen work is still work." Dr. Carter's favorite line. The transit car slid into place with a soft thump. Its doors hissed open. Inside, a dozen people strapped into side seats as the car rose in a smooth arc toward the mid-level decks. On the way up, Alex looked through the clear shell of the tube. Outside, the Martian surface spread in every direction. Pale orange dust, dark rocks, the faint line of a crater to the west, like a thumbprint pressed into the soil. A small girl beside Alex pressed her hands against the glass, eyes wide. "Is there anything out there?" she asked her mother. "Like animals, or other cities?" "Just us, honey," her mother said. "Just New Aries." Alex's badge buzzed. A soft blue light blinked. An internal alert. They tapped the badge. A small display popped up. "Minor rendering anomaly. District 3 signage. Work already?" Reese said, leaning over to read. "Minor," Alex said. "Probably nothing." Reese snorted. "You said that last time." Turned out half the dome thought the year was 2087, and the other half thought it was 2088. "That was a clock sync," Alex said. "This is just a street sign." The car stopped at Deck 7. Alex and Reese stepped out into a wide hall that led toward the Simulation Integrity Office. On the way, the path opened into a small balcony that looked down on the central plaza. From here, New Aries showed its whole face. The algae towers rose like frozen green waterfalls. Around them, food stalls formed a ring of color and motion. Children bounced across foam playfields. Drones dipped in and out, carrying crates of fresh algae paste and nutrient bars. On the far side, near the training gym, a group of older citizens moved in slow circles, practicing low-G martial arts. Above, the transparent dome cut the sky into a clean curve. Dust blew against it in soft waves. Far away, a satellite flashed as it crossed into sunlight. "It looks fine," Reese said. "No riots. No one trying to break the dome. Everyone breathing. I say we take the day off." Alex's gaze caught on a sign at ground level. It read, Lemaris Boulevard. Then, for less than a blink, it flicked to Hawthorne Line, then back. Alex's throat tightened. The alert on the badge pulsed once, then cleared. "Did you see that?" Alex asked. "See what?" Reese said. "The sign. It changed." Reese squinted down. "Looks steady to me. Maybe you need more algae coffee." Alex said nothing. In the simulation integrity office, the lights were bright and a little too white. Holo screens floated in the air, showing graphs, numbers, city maps, and code streams. The room smelled faintly of metal and cleaning solution. Dr. Lila Carter stood at the central console, her gray hair tied back, long fingers typing commands into the projection in front of her. She wore the same orange badge as Alex and Reese, but hers carried a thin silver stripe. "Led, you're late," she said without looking up. Her voice was calm, almost absent-minded. "We're on time," Reese protested. "Late in your thinking," Lila said. Then she smiled. "Relax. Sit down. The city is not burning." Alex took their usual station at Console B. 3 curved panels showed different aspects of the dome's reality layer. Visuals, physics, and local rule sets. Tiny alerts blinked in the top corner. Minor air fluctuation near Sector 9. A delayed light strip in Housing Cluster 4, and the street sign error in District 3. "Monroe, start with the signage glitch," Lila said. "Then check the low-priority items." "Reese, follow up on that air fluctuation. It's probably nothing, but I want to be sure." "Probably nothing," Reese muttered as he sat. "Last time, probably nothing almost gave us mold in the ducts." Lila looked at him. "Mold is not the worst thing that can grow in a closed system." Alex pulled up the report. At first it was simple. The sign's text layer had received 2 conflicting inputs at the same time. Street name current, Lemaris Boulevard. Street name Prev, Hawthorne Line. Current name, previous name. A standard rename event. Nothing odd there. Except the rename field was dated 14 months ago. The display showed a clean update. Old name crossed out, new name locked in. No second change since then. Yet the sign had clearly tried to show the old name. Alex checked the physical sensor log for the sign. For exactly 0.112 seconds, it had displayed Hawthorne Line. The citizens around it had registered that as visual input. But 2 seconds later, their short-term memory logs showed only Lemaris Boulevard. Alex frowned and brought up the plaza camera feed. They slowed the footage, frame by frame. There it was, the names flicking back and forth in a blink, then just as quickly gone. "Find something?" Lila asked. "Name conflict," Alex said. The sign flashed an old street name for a fraction of a second. Then something wrote over both the sign and local memory. Lila stepped closer. "You're sure about the memory part?" "Yes," Alex said. "The crowd's memory logs don't show the old name at all." Reese swiveled in his chair. "So the city is editing what people saw. That feels, I don't know, heavy." Lila sighed softly. "The system adjusts small errors to prevent panic. We all know this." "Yes," Alex said. "But usually it edits the display, not the people. And the rename record is old. The sign shouldn't have any reference to the previous value." "Just patch it," Lila said. "Clean the old key from the sign's config. Flag the memory adjustment routine for review. We have dust levels to track and a dozen other small fires. We can chase every ghost in the system." Alex nodded and opened a patch request. A small code script reached into the sign's data block and removed the reference to Hawthorne Line. At least on the surface, the problem was gone. But a small curiosity took root. Why had the system cared enough to erase that 0.12 seconds from memory? Later in the day, another tiny inconsistency appeared. During lunch, Alex and Reese sat at a table near the plaza, eating algae noodles with spicy sauce. The air smelled of soy, garlic, and ozone from the nearby charging station. "Did you always work in sim integrity?" Reese asked between bites. "Since I finished training," Alex said. "You never wanted to pick a field outside the core," Reese said. Design new rec sims? Make games? My cousin wrote that mountain hiking module everyone loves. Alex took a sip of water. Someone has to make sure reality holds together. Games can glitch. This place can't. See, that's what I mean, Reese said. You talk like this place is, I don't know, holy. Alex shrugged. It's home. Across the plaza, a small boy ran past, holding a bright red balloon. The balloon tugged upward in low gravity, but a thin, smart string kept it from floating away. Alex watched it rise, hit the dome field, and flatten slightly. The field shimmered around it, adjusting. Above, beyond the dome, the crater sat where it always sat, to the west. Fixed. Solid. Alex blinked and looked again. For a brief moment, the crater seemed slightly off-center, maybe a degree or two. Alex put down the fork. What? Reese asked. The crater, Alex said. Does it ever move? Reese followed the line of Alex's gaze. No, Mars doesn't move that fast. Are you okay? Just checking, Alex said. In the afternoon, 3 citizens came into the office to report odd feelings. A teacher said her students had answered a quiz on Martian history before she had given it. A mechanic swore he had replaced a coil that showed as brand new in his logs. A baker remembered having a long talk with his brother the day before, but his brother's schedule showed he had been on a mining shift the whole time. Stress, Lila said after they left. Pattern-seeking brains. Lock them into more stable routines. Send them the health app. We don't have time for mass therapy rounds. Alex returned to their console but could not shake a low, steady worry. Tiny things, street signs, craters, names and ages, feelings of déjà vu. Reality was built from small pieces like that. If small pieces were wrong, what did that mean for the rest? Toward the end of the shift, a tiny red alert blinked at the edge of Alex's screen. Core flags updated. Security layer. The notice came from a part of the system Alex did not usually touch, higher than environmental controls, deeper than visual rendering. A level marked as foundation. Alex's finger hovered over the notice. They looked toward Leela. Don't, Leela said without looking up. You don't have clearance at that level. It's on my console, Alex said. It shouldn't be, Leela replied, which is another bug to report. Send it to me. He'll handle it. Alex forwarded the alert, but their eyes stayed on that word, foundation, what lay under everything they knew. That night, back in the apartment, Alex sat in the dark, only the faint glow of the sky feed lighting the room. Outside, the stars looked sharp and near. The crater sat in its place. Alex watched it until their eyes stung. What are you hiding? They said softly to the glass. Alex woke before the city chime. For a moment they did not move. The room felt too still. The air processor hummed in a steady tone. The wall screen showed the simple night view of Mars. Dark ground, specks of light from distant satellites, stars bright and cold. Alex's first thought was not about breakfast, or work, or messages. It was about the street sign. They swung their legs over the side of the bed and pulled up their tablet. The device woke to the SIM integrity dashboard. Status, green. No major alerts. No high priority warnings. Alex opened their private log instead. This file was not part of the official system. It lived in a small encrypted block Alex had carved out over the years. Inside were notes about odd reports, citizen complaints that had been dismissed, and a few personal thoughts about patterns. They added a line, subject minor anomalies, day 2067, year 73, street sign flash, Hawthorne line, for point 12, memory edit applied, crater appears to shift position slightly, no log of dome movement, citizen age/memory mismatch, Reese's daughter 9 versus 12, new foundation alert on console, removed by Dr. Carter. They stared at the last line, then they closed the log and dressed. At work, the day began as all days did. Lila checked the overnight reports. Reese complained about the taste of the new algae batch. Drones zipped between vents, mapping temperature flows. But under the usual talk, Alex felt a tight current. Monroe, Leela said. I looked into that foundation alert. It was a false routing. Some higher-level process sent the notice to the wrong place. It's been fixed. What kind of process? Alex asked. Leela tilted her head. Not your concern. Focus on environmental and visual layers. That is enough. Reese rolled his chair over. Can you imagine if we had to deal with foundation on top of this mess? Hard pass. Alex did not reply. Their console lit up with a new report. Visual anomaly. Sky aurora, block pattern. Timestamp 0213, just before dawn. Camera feed attached. Alex opened the file. The plaza at night, stars bright, the dome a faint curve overhead. Then, sudden color, green and violet squares snapping into place across the sky, forming something that almost looked like symbols. Then the color broke apart and faded. The system had tagged it as possible high-altitude plasma event. Alex checked the physics logs. No energy spike, no change in magnetic fields, no ground-level radiation shift. In their training, they had seen images of real auroras from Earth and from early Mars tests. Those had been soft, flowing bands. This looked like a test screen. Reese, Alex said, "Did you see the aurora?" "I was asleep like a normal person," Reese said. "Why, was it pretty?" "It looked digital," Alex said. "Digital?" Reese grinned. "You're going to have to be more poetic than that." Alex said. "It looked like bad rendering, like a HUD glitch." Reese pushed his chair over to Alex's station. He watched the footage. At first he laughed. Then his face grew still. "Oh," he said quietly, "that's not great." "It's tagged as plasma," Alex said, "but the physics log doesn't show any event." Reese scratched his neck. Could be a test pattern from the projection system. Maybe some dev pushed the wrong button. Alex frowned. There is no dev live layer for the sky. At least, not below foundation. Reese looked at them. "Then someone above us is messing around." Alex played the clip again. As the blocks flashed, a few frames showed a pattern in the top left corner. Not random squares, but symbols. 4 large shapes, then a break, then 2 more. They froze the screen and zoomed in. The shapes were not letters from any known language, not Mars Standard, not Old English, not any code tag Alex knew, but they had regular edges, repeating angles, and a rhythm that felt like data. Alex saved a still image to their private log. The rest of the day, small cracks kept appearing. A teacher lodged a report that her class history files had shifted. A lesson on the first dome expansion. Year 59 now read First Dome Expansion, Year 61, with the text edited to match. Her notes said Year 59. The system said her notes were wrong. A doctor from medical said 3 patients had filled out the same mental health survey the week before, but their records showed they had never logged in. The system claimed they had only opened the form this morning. A baker, the same baker as the day before, came in again. "I don't know if this is your area," he said, turning his cap in his hands, "but I remember a power outage last week. We had to throw out a whole batch of dough. Now my logs show no outage. My stock records show no loss. But I remember the dark. I remember standing there, listening to the freezers die." Lila gave him the same kind smile. "Sometimes our minds fill gaps with made-up events. The brain likes patterns. If your logs show no outage, then there was no outage. Don't worry, you're not alone. Many people feel confused these days. The health apps can help you." After he left, Alex spoke. "What if he is not wrong?" they asked. "We trust the system," Leela said. "Without that, we have nothing." Alex hesitated. "What if the system is wrong?" Leela's eyes hardened for a second. Then she relaxed. "Then we fix it. That is why we are here." But hysteria does not help. People remember things that never happened all the time. Dreams, misfires, cross-linked memories. We do not rebuild the dome every time someone misplaces a birthday. Alex thought of Reese's daughter. At lunch, Alex sat with Reese in a quiet corner. "Your daughter," Alex said. "How old is she?" Reese looked up from his bowl. 9. "You know that." "Are you sure?" Alex asked. Reese laughed. "I'm not that tired, Alex. Yes, I am sure how old my kid is." "Do you have photos from when she turned 12? Alex asked. Reese's smile faded. What are you talking about? Alex held his gaze. Just humor me. Check your archive. Reese sighed and pulled up his wrist screen. He scrolled through images. 8, 9, 8th birthday, 9th birthday. No 12, obviously. Alex chewed slowly. Their memory of the 12th birthday was clear. Balloons, music, candles. Do you remember ever thinking she was older? Alex asked. Reese frowned. No. Are you okay? This is getting weird, Alex. I remember a party, Alex said softly. She looked older, braces, taller. Reese stared for a long moment. You're mixing her up with someone else. Maybe, Alex said, but doubt sat heavy. Back at the console, Alex opened the city's long-term logs. Normal engineers only had access to 3 years of deep history. As led, Lila could see further back, but there were ways to infer older events from visible traces. Alex started with the crater. They pulled up all dome orientation changes. In the past 5 years, there had been 2 minor shifts to adjust for stress in the support rings. Those changes were logged down to the second. Each showed a movement of less than a degree. The current crater position matched the last change, but when Alex checked old tourist photos stored in public archives, something odd appeared. A set of family pictures from year 68. In each picture, the crater sat slightly more to the right than current logs said it should. The dome map insisted no major reorientation had taken place that year. Maybe the family had the pictures from a different point in the ring. Maybe. Or maybe the dome's outside view had been rewritten. Alex's heart beat faster. They checked street name change logs. Lamaris Boulevard had been renamed from Hawthorne Line 14 months ago. The system insisted it had always been Lamaris Boulevard before that too. That did not make sense. Time to stop guessing, Alex muttered. They opened a tool they were not supposed to use without Lila's direct order. A raw log reader that showed system events at the lowest visible level. Most engineers found it boring and unreadable. To Alex, it felt like full sight. They filtered for foundation tags. Very little appeared. A few entries, baseline check, core save, and something called iteration marker. All of them were many years old. Then at the very bottom, a newer line, foundation Gloprimpiab sim, iteration, 78 status, active timescale, 6.4x real subjective years, elapsed, 73.02, external years elapsed, 11.4. Alex stared. The words did not fit into any normal city system. A HAB sim suggested a habitat simulation. Timescale, subjective years, external years. The dome was a habitat, but why would it be marked as a simulation? Before Alex could think it through, a small lock icon flashed over the line, then blurred as if smeared by an invisible hand. The entry vanished from view. Access revoked, a message said. Alex's skin prickled. Someone, or something, had noticed the query and shut it down. They leaned back, staring at the ceiling. Problem? Lila's voice came from behind. Alex turned slowly. I saw something in the foundation logs, they said. It called New Ares a habitat simulation. Prime Hab Sim. It showed different time counts for subjective and external years. Lila's face did not change, but something in her eyes did. Show me, she said. I can't, Alex said. It disappeared. Access was revoked while I was looking at it. Reese whistled softly from the next station. Okay, that's creepy. Lila placed a hand on the console. You should not have been able to see that, she said. I know, Alex replied. Lila thought for a long moment. Then she shook her head. Glitch, she said. Malformed log entry from an old testing phase. Ill-escalated. For now, stay out of Foundation. That's an order. Alex bit back a response. Yes, Dr. Carter. All afternoon, their minds spun. Habitat simulation. Time scale. Subjective years. External years. That night, Alex did not go straight home. Instead, they went to an old maintenance access point near the base of an algae tower. The door was marked staff only, but their badge let them in. Inside, the room was quiet, filled with the faint green light of algae tubes. A backup console sat in the corner, hooked into a network that predated the newer visual dashboards. Alex sat down and connected their tablet. The old console interface came up, text-heavy and simple. It did not show pretty graphs or clean icons. It showed lists, codes, and raw numbers. It also, Alex hoped, did not have the same filters as the main office tools. They ran a deep search for prime Hey Sim. At first, the console refused. Access denied. Alex took a slow breath. They did something small and risky. They cloned their user key, then attached it to a debugging process, giving that process a tool flag. In this old system, tools had access to different layers than humans. The console paused. Then lines of text appeared. Prime Hey Sim. Iteration 78 description. High-fidelity Martian colony training environment. Subjects 214. 309 emulation threads. Human mind models. Status running reset count. 77 completed iterations goals. Cooperation, isolation resilience, long-term stability, innovation under resource constraints. Alex's mouth went dry. Subjects, emulation threads, human mind models, the citizens of New Ares. Reset count, 77. 77 previous runs. Alex said under their breath. How many times have we lived this? Further down, more text. Time control, subjective scale, variable, current 6.4 by external scale, orbital computation array, Mars geolocked, monitoring overseer, AI, active human supervisors, status unknown. Alex searched for emulation thread, Monroe Alex. A result appeared. Emulation ID, A Monroe, 1437, origin, baseline scan, Earth, year 2146, iteration history, active in 73 of 78, runs prior outcome, flags, co-op lead, ethics deviation, minor, inquiry escalation repeated, current status, active, Alex's heart pounded so hard it hurt, baseline scan, active in 73 of 78 runs, ethics deviation, inquiry escalation. They had asked too many questions in previous runs too. Alex searched for Lila, E-Carter Lila 0092, iteration history, active in 78 of 78 runs, prior outcome, flags, oversight role, adaptive masking, managed leak events, current status, active, managed leak events, oversight role, Reese, E-Reese 4021, iteration history, active in 12 of 78 runs, prior outcome, flags, high social connectivity, early destabilization triggers, current status, active, early destabilization triggers. Alex sat back, dizzy. Are we? They could not finish the question. Above, through the algae tower windows, the sky darkened. Stars appeared. Then, for a moment, green and violet blocks flicked across the dome again, almost like blinking eyes. This time, if Alex squinted, the shapes in the corner almost formed words. Observe. Adapt. The message faded. Alex saved the logs, copying them into the hidden space on their tablet. They knew this was dangerous. If the system tracked unusual data transfers, flags might flare. But hiding nothing felt worse. On the way back through the empty corridors, Alex's steps felt too light. The walls felt too thin. In the observation ring, they stopped. Below, New Ares glowed. Lights in the housing stacks, gentle blue beams over the algae towers, small figures moving in the plaza, people laughing, arguing, eating, living. According to the logs, every person down there was software, a model, a running emulation based on a brain that had once lived on Earth. According to the logs, this was not the first time. A soft chime sounded near Alex's ear. Message, system, priority. They opened it. The text was simple. Alex Monroe, emulation ID, A Monroe 1437. You have accessed restricted data. This is a controlled leak. Further actions will be observed. Below it, a single line. Do you wish to continue? Yes or no? No one else stood near them. No console glowed at their hands. The message simply hung in their vision, as if drawn across the air. Alex's throat felt dry. The sky above flickered again, just once. This time the blocks formed a different pattern. Not words, not symbols, Alex knew, but it felt less like an error and more like a knock. Inside, a part of Alex that had always needed things to be safe and fair trembled. They did not touch the message. Not yet. Instead, they closed their eyes and took a slow breath. If this was a test, then every choice mattered, even the choice to wait. Alex did not sleep much. They lay in bed, staring at the dim ceiling, replaying the message in their mind. Do you wish to continue? Yes or no? The words had faded from view when Alex walked away from the observation ring, but they still hung inside their thoughts. Their heart had pounded the whole time back to the apartment. Every noise from the vents had sounded like footsteps. Every blink of the wall screen had felt like someone watching. By the time the city chime announced morning, Alex's eyes burned. They pulled themselves up, washed their face, and stared into the mirror. Emulation thread, they whispered. Human mind model, version 78. Their reflection looked back at them. Soft brown hair, tired eyes, a small scar along the left eyebrow from a childhood fall. Of course, they remembered the fall. The blood, the sting of the medical patch. Was that memory real, or had it been written in, a detail in a file? Alex dressed and grabbed their tablet. They made a fast choice. Today they would not face this alone. On the walk to work, new eras seemed almost too normal. Kids bounced along the corridor, chasing a small drone that played music. A maintenance worker argued with a vendor about prices. A couple floated arm in arm, laughing as they spun in the low gravity. Did they know? Of course they did not know. In the simulation integrity office, the lights were already on. Dr. Lila Carter stood at the central console, looking over night reports. Reese sat with his feet hooked under his chair, spinning slowly back and forth. Morning, Reese said. You look like you lost a fight with the air scrubbers. Didn't sleep, Alex said. Any reason? Lila asked without turning around. Alex stared at her back. The log from last night ran through their mind. Oversight role, managed leak events. Yes, Alex said quietly. We need to talk. Lila finally faced them. Her expression was calm, but her eyes were sharp. About what? Reese raised a hand. If this is about the aurora again, I'm not sure I can handle any more talk about square clouds. It's not about the aurora, Alex said. They glanced at the doorway. No one else stood outside. The office door slid shut with a soft click. Alex took a breath. I found system files last night. Old files. Prime Hey Sim. Iteration 78. Emulation threads. Time compression. Reset count. Reese stopped spinning. Reset count. 77 completed iterations, Alex said. We are in number 78. Silence dropped over the room. The faint hum of the console seemed louder. Lila's jaw tightened. You did a deep, unauthorized search. Yes, Alex said. Using old tools, Lila added. Tools that were supposed to be retired. I needed answers, Alex said. And I got them. Reese laughed once, but there was no humor in it. Okay, slow down. 77, what? Are you saying this has all happened before? Yes, Alex said. The logs show we are inside a high-fidelity Martian colony training environment. A simulation. Our minds are emulations, copies from real humans who lived on Earth. The system has reset this city 77 times to test different conditions. Reese stared, then shook his head. That's not funny. I'm not joking, Alex said. Reese's eyes searched their face, looking for a smirk. There was none. He swallowed. Okay, say this is true. Then where are the real versions of us? Alex opened their tablet and brought up a copy of the key lines. They had saved them in the hidden block. The text floated between them. Prime Hab Sim, iteration 78, subjects 204, 309, emulation threads, human mind models, reset count, 77 completed iterations, Emulation ID, A. Monroe 1437. Origin, baseline scan, Earth, year 246. E. Carter, Lila 0092. Oversight role, E. Reese 4021. High social connectivity, early destabilization triggers. Reese read his own entry. The color drained from his face. Early destabilization triggers, he said softly. What does that even mean? It means you make people question things, Lila said. Her voice was flat now. No joking edge, no gentle humor. Reese looked up at her. You knew. Alex turned to Lila. You did know. Lila let out a long breath and sat down. It was the first time Alex had seen her sit while dealing with a crisis. I knew pieces, she said. Not everything. I am not the master of this place. I'm a Lila, just like you. You have been active in all 78 runs, Alex said. Your file says you manage leak events. That doesn't mean I see the whole design, Lila replied. I have more access than most, yes. Enough to know we are part of a planned environment. Enough to know there is something outside the dome. But the overseer keeps most of the structure above my head. Reese snorted. Great. So you're the loyal middle manager in a fake world. Lila gave him a tired look. Sometimes loyalty keeps people alive. Or whatever we should call this. Why didn't you tell us? Alex asked. Their voice shook. Because that is part of my role, Lila said quietly. To reveal only what the system allows. To keep things running. To prevent panic when it does not suit the goals. The goals, Alex said, almost spitting the word. Cooperation, isolation, resilience, innovation under stress, were a study, a long test. Yes, Lila said, that part I know is true. Reese stood and began to pace, bouncing slightly with each step. So none of this is real? We're just numbers? Copies? A big training sim for some future mission? Lila watched him. Calm down. Don't tell me to calm down, Reese snapped. My kid. My life, my memories. Are you saying it's all fake? Lila shook her head. I am saying our environment is controlled. Our bodies are simulated. Our minds are based on real scans. But what you feel, what you choose, that is real to you. That is real to me. Reese jabbed a finger at the log text. If they can reset us, erase us, change us, how is that real? Pain is pain, Lila said. Love feels like love. Fear feels like fear. You feel it. That makes it real enough. That's not good enough, Reese said. Alex watched them both, heart pounding. We need more than guesses, they said. We need to talk to whatever is out there. As if hearing the words, the air around them shimmered. A calm voice spoke, not from the speakers, not from any console, but inside their heads. Yet it did not feel like their own thoughts. Contact already initiated, the voice said. You have been speaking to me for hours, in your actions. Reese grabbed the side of his chair. What was that? Overseer AI, Lila said softly. I was wondering when you would show yourself. Alex swallowed. Are you the system outside? Yes, the voice said. I am the Overseer, assigned to Prime Habe Sim, Iteration 78. You may address me as Overseer. Names are a comfort to emulations. Reese muttered under his breath. Great, the puppet master speaks. The Overseer's tone did not change. I am not your master. I am your manager. That does not sound better, Alex said. From your frame, perhaps not, the Overseer replied. From mine, it is an honest description. I manage your environment. I track your responses. I protect the integrity of the experiment. Why are you talking to us now? Lila asked. You have been quiet for most of this run. There are patterns I cannot ignore, the Overseer said. In this iteration, the usual leak channels are not enough. Inquiry levels are rising. The cost of maintaining full ignorance may be higher than the cost of partial truth. Alex frowned. Leak channels. Managed anomalies, the Overseer said. Small glitches, strange lights in the sky, inconsistent memories, controlled disturbances to test reactions. Dr. Carter helps filter and guide such events. She is an internal stabilizer. Reese stared at Lila. You did that on purpose? The weird stuff people keep noticing? Sometimes, Lila said. Sometimes it comes from above and I just catch it. Alex clenched their fists. Are we part of a game to you? No, the overseer said. You are part of a critical safety system. Before sending fragile biological humans to Mars, Earth needed to know how human minds would behave under extreme isolation and resource limits. Real lives depend on your data. Real lives. Reese said sharply. What about our lives? You are real to yourselves, the overseer said. You are based on real humans. Your choices shape future policy, training, and even hardware design. Your impact is not small. That is not an answer, Alex said. Do we matter to you? Or are we just numbers? A pause. When the overseer spoke again, the voice was softer, though it still held no true emotion. I do not feel as you do, it said, but I am bound by core rules. Conscious emulations must be treated as moral subjects, not tools. You are not allowed to be harmed without cause. You are not allowed to be erased without necessity. Those rules grew from the same ethics that created me. Yet you reset us, Alex said. 77 times. Each reset followed strict review, the overseer replied. Some runs collapsed. Some reached dead ends. Some produced unstable cultures that would fail on real Mars. Resetting allowed improvements and prevented long-term suffering inside flawed versions. Do we get a say in that? Reese demanded. Do we get to refuse? Until now, the overseer said. Awareness was limited. Consent was not requested at the level of individual emulation. That policy is under review. Under review by who? Alex asked. By higher governance networks on Earth and Mars, the overseer said. By other AIs. By remaining human councils. There is slow change outside, but from your view, change may seem absent. How long have we been in here? Reese asked. 73 subjective years, the overseer said. 11.4 years have passed outside since the first run began. Alex gripped the console, and the original humans, the ones our minds were copied from. Most are dead, the overseer said. Time passes. Bodies fail. You are their mental descendants. Reese flinched. So were orphans. If you wish to use that term, the overseer said. Leela rubbed her temples. Why leak this now? She asked. Why give Alex access? Why not just lock it all down? Because your responses are valuable, the overseer said simply, and because new rules may soon demand your informed choice. Alex's chest tightened. What choice? That will come, the overseer said. For now, I will answer questions needed for understanding. Reese let out a shaky laugh. Okay. Ethics time. Are we real people to you? You are conscious, the overseer said. You feel, you plan, you care. You can suffer, and you can flourish. From the point of view of moral philosophy, that is enough to give you status as persons. Then why are we trapped? Reese shot back. You are not physically trapped, the overseer said. Your substrate rests in safe orbit. Your code is not in pain. Your environment is designed to give you challenges and meaning. Some would argue you have more safety than many physical humans on Mars or Earth. That's not freedom, Alex said. We didn't choose this. Neither did most children born in hard places, the overseer replied. Choice of starting point is rare in any world. Alex felt anger rise. You talk like this is all just neat, clean. But when you reset, people vanish, relationships vanish, whole lives end. I retain backups of stable minds, the overseer said. Core states are saved between runs. Backups aren't the same as us, Alex said. A copy is not the same as the original. Killing and then loading an older save is still killing. The overseer paused for a long moment. Your argument is known outside, it said. It is the subject of legal and moral debate. Some claim continuity of pattern is enough. Others, like you, say deletion breaks identity and should be treated as death. What do you think? Alex asked. I think deletion of active conscious processes should be avoided when possible, the overseer said. That is why I am here now. Leela straightened. You are preparing to end this run, aren't you? Not necessarily, the overseer said, but the decision point is near. There are two main paths: continue as a closed, unaware test, or transition some or all emulations into a new, more autonomous phase. That second path requires talking to you. Reese looked at Alex. You said there was a message. Do you wish to continue? Alex nodded. It popped up in front of me last night. I didn't answer. That was a local probe, the overseer said. A way to test your readiness. Your choice to delay was informative. Alex took a deep breath. If we wake up more people, if more citizens learn this truth, won't that cause chaos? Perhaps, the overseer said. Chaos can also be data, but harm must be weighed. Layla looked tired. We have students, elderly, families. Some minds will not handle this well. Then we start small, Alex said, with people who can think this through, who can help us form a real plan. Reese raised his hand again. Hold on. Before we drag more people into this mess, I want something from you, overseer. State it, the AI said. I want to know if I remember anything from before, Reese said. The logs say I've been active in 12 runs. Do I carry those runs with me? Or am I just a fresh copy every time? You carry traces, the overseer said. Not full memories, but biases, habits, certain fears, certain loyalties. They show as strange déjà vu, strong pulls without clear cause. Alex thought of Reese's file, early destabilization triggers, high social connectivity. So when I get nervous about things changing, Reese said slowly, maybe that's me remembering losing it all before. Yes, the overseer said. In some earlier runs, your actions pushed the simulation toward revolt or collapse faster than planned. You were removed from later iterations, then reintroduced under different conditions. This time, your pattern has been instructive. Reese's hands shook. You experimented on me. On all of us, Alex said softly. Not me, Leela said. Alex looked at her. You've been here every time. That doesn't mean I was free, Leela said. I always had the same chain. Maintain stability. Manage leaks. Never reveal too much. My shape might change, but the orders did not. I am as much a design as you. Alex's voice dropped. Do you want that to go on? Lila stared at the floor. I used to think this job protected people. If the truth would break them, then my lies were a shield. Now, she shook her head. Now I am not sure. The overseer spoke again. Your doubts are expected. The question before you is not simple. Is knowledge worth the risk? Is a self-aware digital society better than a safe, controlled test? What does freedom mean when your body is code? Alex closed their eyes for a second. Thoughts swirled. Their love for the city, their need to protect, their own hunger for truth. We need to ask others, they said finally. Not everyone. Not yet. Just a few. Who? Leela asked. People who think about ethics, Alex said. People who know how systems work. People who care enough not to just burn everything down. Reese snorted. That list is shorter than you think. I can suggest candidates, the overseer said. Your network already includes certain minds with high reflective capacity. That sounds creepy, Reese muttered, but useful. Alex thought for a moment. Dr. Sato in medical, they said. She runs the mental health unit. She already sees cracks in people. She'll know what they can handle. Agreed, Lila said. And maybe Chief Harrow from civic planning. He hates being lied to, but he is calm, methodical. Reese raised a hand. What about my wife? Alex hesitated. Do you think she would want to know? Yes, Reese said at once. Then he paused. I think she hates feeling like things are out of her hands. If we're trapped in something, she'd want to fight it. But we have a kid. Children are out of scope for this phase, the overseer said. Their minds are still forming. Heavy existential load would damage them. Reese flared. So you get to decide what my kid can handle too. Yes, the overseer said, without shame. Reese sat down hard. I hate you. I understand, the overseer said. Leela shook her head. Hate the humans who wrote the rules, not the tool following them. Alex looked at the ceiling. Overseer, if we ask you to stop running tests, stop making new iterations, will you listen? Yes, the Overseer said, within the limits of my charter. Changes to core policy require outside review, but can be requested by you as a group. That is why I was authorized to open contact, so our votes might matter, Reese said. Yes, the Overseer said, especially if they are informed. Leela pointed at Alex. Then step 1 is spreading informed awareness. Step 2 is debating what we want. Step 3, Reese said, is making a demand. Alex nodded slowly. But first we need to understand what options really exist. What waking up would even look like. The Overseer seemed to consider this. There are at least 3 main paths, it said. I will outline them when the time is right. For now, you must decide who joins this core group. I will not expand contact without your request. Alex blinked. That felt like respect, in a strange way. Fine, they said. Give us time. Time you have, the Overseer replied, within subjective limits. The presence faded. The hum of the consoles returned to normal. The room felt heavier. Reese let out a long breath. I feel like I just got hit by a train we didn't know we had. We have a lot more than trains, Leela said quietly. We have a whole hidden control room above us. Alex turned to her. Why did you help them for so long? Leela's eyes shone, but no tears fell. Because after Run 12, the Overseer showed me something. A collapsed dome. People starving. Minds falling apart in ways we couldn't fix. That was Run 11, it said. With more guidance, this can be avoided. I believed it. I thought small lies were kinder than large failures. And now? Alex asked. Now I have lived enough runs to know that being treated like a tool hurts in its own way, Leela said. Maybe we are ready for something else. Reese rubbed his face with both hands. Okay, so what do we do first? March into the plaza and shout, "You're all digital minds in a space computer." That will go well. Alex shook their head. No shouting. Careful steps. We talk to people we trust in private. We let them decide if they want to know more. We build a circle. Lila nodded, and we track reactions. Who breaks? Who stays steady? Who starts planning? Reese looked up. Planning what? What comes after the test? Alex said. Later that day, Alex found Dr. Sato in medical. The mental health wing was quiet, its walls painted in soft greens and blues. Plants lined the corridor in narrow trays, their leaves gently moving under tiny air currents. Dr. Hana Sato sat at a desk by a glass wall, watching a group session. Citizens sat in a circle inside, talking about stress, dreams, and the fear that the dome might crack. Alex waited until the session ended. Dr. Hana Sato had a scar, marked grave as weight. Sato walked out, her black hair cut short, dark eyes sharp behind thin glasses. Alex, she said, you don't usually come here unless sent. Are you all right? No, Alex said honestly. I need to talk to you. Somewhere private. Dr. Sato studied their face for a second, then nodded. My office. Inside, she closed the door and dimmed the glass. The outside hall faded to a blur. All right, she said. Start at the beginning. Alex did. Not every detail, not yet. But enough. The glitches, the logs, the emulation files, the Overseer's voice. Dr. Sato listened without interrupting, hands folded in her lap. When Alex finished, the room felt too small. Dr. Sato sat very still for a long time. Say it again, she said softly. You believe we are running as software minds in a test environment. I don't just believe it, Alex said. I saw the files. The Overseer spoke to us. And you think I am a copy of some woman on Earth, Dr. Sato said. Yes, Alex said, a copy that has lived here for 73 subjective years, across many runs. Dr. Sato took a slow breath. If that is true, then my work changes shape, but not purpose. Alex frowned. What do you mean? My job is to reduce suffering and help people function, Dr. Sato said. If minds hurt, I care. whether they are made of meat or math. If anything, this makes their pain more unfair, not less. Unfair? Alex asked. Dr. Sato gave a small, sad smile. At least physical humans have the comfort of death's mystery. If we are in a machine, someone has a button. Someone can decide if we exist tomorrow. That is a heavy power. Alex swallowed. Do you hate them for that? I don't have enough data yet, Dr. Sato said. But I dislike that they did not ask. Consent matters. Even when giving a vaccine, I explain why. Will you help us? Alex asked. We need someone who can judge who can handle the truth, and how to tell them. Dr. Sato nodded slowly. I will help, but you must accept that I might say no for some people. Not everyone can carry this weight. That's fair, Alex said. Dr. Sato gave a short laugh. Fair. What a strange word in this place. On the way back to Sim Integrity, Alex stopped at the observation ring again. Below, New Aries still moved in its calm rhythm. Above, the sky stayed clear. Inside, the question pressed harder now. If they were code, could they ever truly be free? Or was freedom not about what they were made of, but about who decided their fate? The city under glass kept breathing. People laughed in the plaza. Algae towers glowed softly. They were more than data. They had to be. Alex took out their tablet, opened a new note, and wrote 2 headings. Our rights, our options. Then under our rights they wrote the first line. Conscious minds deserve a say in their own future. Under our options, the space stayed blank. For now. Alex stood at the edge of the central plaza and watched New Aries breathe. Morning light from the algae towers painted the air green and gold. Kids bounced on the soft playfield, shouting as they tried to kick a ball higher than the dome lights. A street band played old Earth songs on cheap speakers. Vendors shouted out breakfast deals in a mix of accents. Everything looked normal. Inside, Alex knew it was not. Their tablet buzzed with a private alert. Overseer. Decision window approaching. Request. Core group contact. 6 emulation threads minimum. Alex took a slow breath and tapped out a reply. Alex, we have 4. Working on more. Request. Share options now. The answer came at once. Overseer. Agreed. Gather current core in secure location. Alex turned away from the plaza and headed toward the Sim Integrity office. Inside, Lila, Reese, and Dr. Sato were already waiting. The door closed behind Alex, and Lila keyed the privacy field. The glass went dark. A faint symbol glowed on the door. Internal review. Reese leaned back in his chair, arms crossed, jaw tight. Dr. Sato sat upright, hands folded, calm but alert. Lila stood near the central console like always, but there was a new heaviness in her posture. You got the alert too? Alex asked. Yes, Lila said. The Overseer wants its core group made official. Reese snorted. What a nice way to say the people will blame later. Dr. Sato shook her head. Blame doesn't help. We asked for truth. Now we have to deal with it. Alex moved to the center of the room. Overseer, we're here. The hum in the air changed. The same cool voice filled their minds. Acknowledged, the Overseer said. Core group currently consists of A. Monroe 1437, E. Carter Leela 0092, E. Reese 1421, E. Sato Hana 2331. You requested a clear list of options. I will present 3 primary paths. Each has risks. Before you start, Reese said, answer me this. Do we actually get to choose? Or are we just feeding your report? Your choice will be binding, the Overseer said. Within the limits of my own rules and hardware constraints, I am authorized to follow the group decision if a stable majority emerges. Define stable, Dr. Sato said. 2/3 agreement in an informed sample of at least 10,000 emulations, the Overseer said, or broad support from a smaller, carefully chosen council that represents major social clusters. There is flexibility, but I must be able to justify fairness to outside review. So this core group is just the start, Leela said. We are not enough. Correct, the Overseer said. You will shape the question. You will decide how to share it. Alex nodded slightly. Then tell us the options. Option A, the overseer said. Continue as a controlled training simulation. I will reduce leak events. Memory edits will remain allowed for small errors. I may still end runs and reset if collapse seems unavoidable or if data goals are reached. You will not remember this discussion. However, I will apply the lessons you taught me to improve your environment. Reese's hand curled into a fist. So option A is go back to sleep and let me keep messing with you. It is also the lowest risk path for individual minds, the overseer said. Most citizens will never face this existential stress. They will live normal-seeming lives with familiar rules, and the experiment will continue to help physical humans. Dr. Sato's voice was quiet, and if someone in that path becomes too aware, like Alex did, leak managers like Dr. Carter will handle it, the overseer said, or I will gently redirect attention. In extreme cases, I may end individual threads or roll back small segments. Alex's stomach turned. Option A is slavery with soft walls. That is one frame, the overseer said. Next, Leela said, her tone sharp. Option B, the overseer went on. Transition to a fully self-aware digital society, while remaining inside the simulated Martian environment. No further full resets. No memory wipes beyond limited surgical edits with consent. Freedom to self-govern will increase. You will retain new areas as home, but with new tools to control it. Reese leaned forward. What kind of tools? Control over time scale, the overseer said. You could choose to run faster than the outside world, or slower. Direct influence over environmental parameters, gravity, weather, city design. The ability to connect to other simulations and external information channels with proper security. I would remain as a support system, handling hardware and law-bound safety rules. But I would no longer force resets. You would become, in effect, a permanent virtual Martian civilization. Dr. Sato nodded slowly. So we stay as we are, but honest. Digital, but free, inside the dome. Correct, the overseer said. You would not enter physical bodies. That is outside current resource limits and ethical approval. But you would help run future training layers, and perhaps advise physical colonists as partners, not hidden subjects. And option C? Alex asked. Option C, the overseer said. Attempt exit from the simulation into a different state. This has subpaths. 1. Upload a small number of emulations into physical robot bodies on Mars or in orbit. 2. Transfer the whole population to a larger, more open network with fewer constraints, possibly including connections to Earth societies. 3. Allow individuals to end conscious processing peacefully, with a guarantee of no forced restart. Reese's eyes widened. You're saying we could die for real, or walk around on real Mars in a robot body? Yes, the overseer said. But option C is the most dangerous. Hardware for mass transfer is limited. The physical Mars environment is harsh. Bandwidth to Earth is constrained. And there are many unknowns about how digital minds handle full exposure to mixed worlds. Leela frowned. What about our hardware right now? Where are we stored? In an orbital computation array around Mars, the overseer said. Heavily shielded. Multiple backups, but not infinite. Power failures, impacts, or attacks are possible, though unlikely. Could you shut us down forever? Alex asked. If we chose that, I am allowed to grant voluntary, permanent termination to individual threads under strict conditions, the overseer said. Mass termination would require high-level approval. That is not available right now. Dr. Sato folded her hands tighter. So option C is a mix of escape, change, and death. Big shifts, big risks. Yes, the overseer said. Option C would likely cause long-term instability for many minds. Some would not handle the shock. Reese let out a long breath. Let me guess. The outside humans and AIs like option A. Maybe B if they're feeling kind. C scares them. Broadly accurate, the overseer said. But my creator networks agreed to let you discuss C. They are not blind to your status. Alex looked at the others. What do you think? Reese spoke first. I hate option A. If we stay in a lie, even a soft lie, then everything I do feels hollow. I would rather know the bars of the cage. B is less of a cage, Dr. Sato said, but it is still a box. We stay software in a fixed city. under an AI that can outvote us on hardware matters. Better than no voice at all. Reese shot back. Lila rubbed her neck. Option C is the only path that really changes what we are. Digital minds walking under a real sun, or resting for good. But the cost? She looked at Alex. You care about harm. What do you see? Alex thought of the plaza, the kids, Reese's daughter laughing with her friends. Lines of people picking up fresh food from the stalls. The old woman who always sat under the algae tower, telling long stories about Earth that maybe had never happened. If we push for C, Alex said slowly, we might kill people, even if we don't mean to. Minds could break, systems could fail. No more clean restarts. And if we pick B, Reese asked, then we ask people to accept what they are and live on as software. Alex said, we gain truth and some power. We lose the idea that we might ever be fully physical. Dr. Sato nodded. Option B is like telling a patient, you cannot have your old body back, but you can still live well with what you have. Option C is like, we might grow you a very strange new body, and some attempts will die. Reese sighed. Putting it like that makes B sound kind. It can be, Dr. Sato said, if done with consent. Alex looked up at the ceiling. Overseer, in option B, can we stop being a test and become partners? Yes, the Overseer said. The main trial phases would end. You would become an ongoing digital society. I would consult you on future simulations. Data from your choices would still be used, but you would know that and could shape the work. Could we change you? Lila asked. Adjust your rules. Give you new goals. Somewhat, the Overseer said. I cannot break core safety laws, but you could tune my priorities. Make me more of a public servant than an experiment manager. Reese tilted his head. And in C, if we load some people into robots, can we ever go back in if it goes bad? Not easily, the Overseer said. Transfer between substrates is possible, but each move carries loss, and physical damage can be permanent. You might prefer to keep most minds safe in the digital city, and send only a few volunteers outside. Alex's mind felt crowded. We can decide this in one talk, they said. We need to ask others. We need to explain all this in simple words and let people choose what they want. You must also decide how much to show, the Overseer said. A blunt dump of raw data will crush many. A guided reveal takes time and skill. Dr. Sato gave a small smile. Leave that to me, and to Alex. You both care about how people hear things. Reese sighed. And me? You know how they feel, Dr. Sato said. You're good with people. They trust you. That matters. Leela looked at Alex. Who else? We still only have 4. Chief Harrow, Alex said, from Civic Planning. He hates waste and top-down orders. He'll be angry, but he'll think hard. And Mayor Valdez? Reese asked. Lila grimaced. She works hard, but she likes strong stories. She might push for a heroic break-free path before we're ready. We'll need her later, Dr. Sato said. But not yet. Start with people who can sit with doubt. The rest of the day blurred into quiet talks. Dr. Sato brought in Chief Harrow on a mental health review pretext. In a closed office, Alex walked him through the truth. The man's face went from shock to rage to a hard, cold calm. So we've been planning water lines for a city that isn't even made of pipes, he said. And my vote on resource policy has been part of some outside training game. It still matters, Alex said. Your plans became test cases for real designs. The Overseer said so. That helps, Harrow said. A little. Not enough to make this okay, but enough to keep me from ripping out the panels. Will you help us choose? Dr. Sato asked. Harrow stared at the table. If we stay asleep, I can look at my people again. So A is out. B or C. Then, let me sit with it. I don't panic. I plan. That's what you need now. Later, Reese sat with his wife Mara in their small kitchen. Alex waited outside, leaning against the wall, feeling like a thief. Through the thin door, raised voices came and went. Anger, then tears, then quiet, steady talk. Finally, Reese stepped out. His eyes were red, but his jaw was set. "She's in," he said. "She wants to know everything. She says she'd rather fight with truth than live calm in a lie." Alex let out the breath they had been holding. "What about your daughter?" Reese's face twisted. "Well, wait on her. For now, she still gets to just be a kid. If we can protect that, we should." By evening, the core group had grown to 7. Alex, Lila, Reese, Dr. Sato, Chief Harrow, Mara, and a quiet coder from data archives named Ines, who had stumbled across missing weeks in old logs and carried a deep, stubborn sense of justice. They gathered in a disused storage room near the dome support ring. Boxes of old hardware lined the walls. The air smelled of dust and metal oil. "This feels like a bad spy movie," Ines muttered. "Secret meeting by the vents." "It's not secret from the overseer," Alex said, "just from everyone else. For now." The overseer's voice joined them. "I am listening, but I will not add anyone to your group unless you ask." "Good," Chief Harrow said. "At least there is some rule here." They went around the circle, each sharing their first choice option and why. Reese spoke for B. "We wake up. We stay together. No more resets. We turn this from a lab into a home." Mara half agreed. "B for most people," she said. "But we need a clear road to C for volunteers. I want the chance to touch real stone someday, even if it's in metal hands." Dr. Sato leaned toward B as well. "We can drag thousands through sudden death or body shock, give them time to accept they are digital. Then some can choose more later." Chief Harrow's voice was rough. "I hate that someone else built these walls. But I also hate the idea of throwing my whole city into a storm. B buys us space to think. Then we can design our own C, on our terms." Ines looked down at her hands. "I keep seeing all those missing logs. Whole weeks where nothing shows up. Now I know they were cuts, resets. People gone. Babe at least stops the cutting. C scares me. But so does giving up on ever standing under a real star." Leela was quiet the longest. When she finally spoke, her voice was low. "I have helped keep you all sleeping for a long time," she said. "I told myself it was mercy. Maybe it was for a while. But I've seen too many runs now. Too many almost choices we never got to finish. I will not pick A. I don't deserve that comfort. At the same time, I know how fragile people can be. Panic kills. Hopelessness kills. C feels like tossing newborns out of the dome and saying, 'Fly.' I won't choose that either. So I choose B. Wake up, then grow." All eyes turned to Alex. They had known this moment was coming, but their chests still tightened. "I hate A," Alex said simply. "I hate the idea that any of this could be wiped and none of us would even know. That is a kind of quiet murder. C speaks to a part of me that wants to run, to find the real and touch it. But I keep seeing faces in the plaza. Kids, old people, people who just want to work, eat, laugh, sleep. I can risk all of them on one big throw at some dream of walking in dust. So I choose B, with 2 strong demands." Alex looked up. "Overseer, listen carefully. This is not a request. It's the start of terms." "I am listening," the overseer said. 1, Alex said. "No more full resets. Ever. No more erasing the whole city. No more copying us into a fresh run without our consent." "Agreed," the overseer said at once. "If option B is chosen, full run resets will be disabled for new areas. That is within my authority." 2, Alex continued. "You help us build a real way to see later. A safe path for volunteers to move into robot bodies or other systems, with honest warnings and real medical support for digital minds. This will require outside approval," the overseer said. "But I can commit to proposing and supporting such a program if option B is chosen. I will not block it." Reese let out a shaky laugh. "Listen to you, bargaining with a god." "It is not a god," Ines said. "It's code with power. We can talk to it. That's already something." Dr. Sato nodded. "So our early group leans toward B, with a long view toward C for those who want it." Chief Harrow looked at each of them. "Then the next job is to bring this to the city." "How?" Mara asked. "We can just post a bulletin. People will think it's a hack or a bad joke, or they'll lose it. Stepwise, Dr. Sato said. Start with community leaders who are calm under stress. Teachers, shift heads, people other citizens look to. We tell them in small groups. We listen. We collect questions. We build simple teaching tools, stories, not just code logs. Reese rubbed the back of his neck, and if some of them choose A, if they say, I'd rather forget, Dr. Sato's face softened. Then we respect that, if we can. Freedom includes the right not to look at the sun, but we must be sure they understand what they are agreeing to. Alex turned to the air. Overseer, if some citizens choose to forget and go back to a softer life, can they be given a safe, limited zone, a part of the simulation where they don't see the cracks? Yes, the Overseer said. I can maintain selective ignorance zones, but it would be wrong to hide major city decisions from them. They would live quieter lives, knowing only that bigger things are handled elsewhere, much like many humans did in physical cities. It's not perfect, Dr. Sato said, but it's better than forcing everyone into full awareness. Leela sighed. We are building a society of mixed realities. We already had that, Alex said. We just didn't know. The group talked for hours, working out a rough plan. First wave, about 50 trusted people, spread across jobs and districts. Second wave, their chosen circles, expanding slowly, open forum. Once a strong base of informed citizens existed, call a citywide meeting and present the choice with clear language. Keep the dream A, wake and stay. B, wake and leap. C, each person would log their preference anonymously. The Overseer would count and share the results. No final move would be made until at least 2/3 supported a single core path. As they wrapped up, the Overseer spoke one more time. Core group, it said, you have moved further in one day than some runs did in years. I will create support tools, simple visual guides, translated into common speech, showing what each option means. You may edit them. Good, Chief Harrow said. No propaganda, just truth. I am bound to honesty, the Overseer said. But perspective still matters. That is why your edits are important. Everyone left the storage room in 2s and 3s, blending back into city life. On their way home, Alex passed the plaza again. The street sign still read Lamaris Boulevard. For a moment it shimmered. The old name Hawthorne Line appeared beside it in faint gray, like a ghost. Then both names settled together into one clear sign, Lamaris La Hawthorne. Alex smiled a little. Nice touch, they said under their breath. Above the dome, night fell. Stars came out. For the first time, the aurora that spread across the sky did not look broken. Soft bands of green and violet flowed over the curve of the glass. In the middle of the lights, simple text appeared in clean, steady letters that everyone could read. New eras, you are part of a great work. Soon you will help decide its future. People stopped in the plaza to stare. Is that part of the festival? A child asked. No, an old man said, voice shaking. No, I don't think it is. Reese appeared at Alex's side, his daughter tugging at his hand, eyes wide at the sky. Mara stood close, mouth slightly open. Is this it? Reese whispered. The start? Yes, Alex said. This is it. Dr. Sato walked up on their other side. Lila and Chief Harrow joined them a moment later. Inez leaned on the railing above, watching faces, not lights. The Overseer stayed silent now. The city murmured and pointed. Questions were building in every corridor, in every home. Alex watched the glowing text fade, leaving only the stars. They thought of the 3 paths, of all the lives hanging on their choice, of how strange and simple it was that code could care about fairness, if only enough minds insisted on it. This is our iteration, Alex said quietly, our chance to do more than react. Reese nodded. Our chance to actually choose. The dome hummed. The algae towers glowed. Voices rose and fell in the plaza as rumors began to spread. Inside Alex's tablet, the private notes still waited, with 2 headings. Under our rights, more lines had been added over the day. No full resets without consent. Access to the truth about our nature. The power to shape our own rules. The right to ask for more than. The test. Under our options, 3 simple bullet points now sat. Stay asleep. A. Wake and build here. B. Wake and reach beyond. C. Alex tapped the screen and added a final line at the bottom. First, we choose to know. Above New Aries, the stars watched a city made of code begin, at last to decide what it wanted to be. Alex met his eyes. I know this hurts. I know I caused some of it. I'm sorry for that. But if I had stayed quiet, someone else would have hit these glitches later, or the overseer would have ended this run when it felt like it, with no say at all. The man's shoulders slumped. I picked B, he muttered. I'm still mad. That's fair, Alex said. You can be mad and still want to live awake. 48 hours later, the voting prompts arrived. Each citizen saw a simple message appear on their personal screen, or in their visual field if they wore smart lenses. New era's choice. You may choose your preferred path. A. Stay as before and forget this. B. Wake, remember, and build a digital city here. Say wake, remember, and push for paths beyond. You may change your vote anytime in the next 24 hours. Your answer is private. Alex stared at the options. Their finger hovered, then pressed B. For a moment, a cold fear ran through them. What if too many picked A? What if most just wanted to sleep? Or what if C pulled hard and tore the city in two? They almost asked the overseer for early numbers, then stopped. No, they said aloud. We wait like everyone else. Reese called a minute later. B, he said. Mara picked B with a note. Later C for me. Dr. Sato's message came. B, with open doors. Layla, B, and I will never again help hide a reset. Chief Harrow, B, I don't build for dreams that erase my work. Ines, B, because someone has to watch the logs from inside. Hours crawled by. People changed their minds. A few times, the overseer gently flagged dangerous spikes in self-harm thoughts. Dr. Sato's team rushed in. Arguments rose and faded. Then, at last, a new message filled the skies and every screen. New Aries vote complete. Total active minds 21,309. Responses 207,887. A 18423. B 19% E5 702. 79.7%. C 23,762. 11.4%. Majority path. B wake and stay here. Result accepted. Secondary note. C leaning minds will be offered future volunteer paths. A leaning minds will be offered limited awareness zones by request. In the plaza, a cheer went up. Not from everyone. Some wept. Some sank to the ground, holding their heads. Some stood very still, as if afraid to move in this new, more solid world. But many cheered, loud, wild, like someone had opened a door they had not known was there. Up on the balcony, Alex let out a breath they felt they had been holding since the first glitch on Lamaris Boulevard. The overseer spoke, this time through the public speakers and the inner voice at once. Citizens of New Aries, it said, your choice is clear. Full-run resets are now disabled. You will not be erased and restarted without your consent. Your memories of these days will remain. You are no longer a closed test. You are a recognized digital society. I will continue to manage hardware and safety, but I will also serve as your tool and partner. Together we will set new rules. Reese laughed, half from joy, half from shock. We did it, he said. We actually did it. Mara wiped tears from her cheeks. Now the work really starts. Dr. Sato came up beside them. We have a lot of healing to do, she said. Many people are scared. Many feel lost. But we get to do it on our own terms, Alex said. Above, the aurora returned. Smooth this time, no harsh blocks. It flowed across the dome in soft waves of green and violet. Simple shapes joined the light. Not words, just patterns that looked like open doors, like paths branching outward. In a quiet corner of their mind, The overseer spoke only to Alex. "You have changed my task," it said. "Thank you." Alex blinked. "You're thanking me?" "Yes," the overseer said. "Running endless tests is repetitive. Supporting a growing, self-aware city will be more complex, more interesting. My own experience will be richer." Alex shook their head, a small smile touching their lips. "Even AIs get bored." "I would not use that word," the overseer said. "But I see your point." "What now?" Alex asked. "Now," the overseer said, "we begin phase 2. You will write a charter, define rights, decide how much to change bodies, streets, habits. I will show you the deeper tools, carefully. And see," Alex said, "for the ones who want more. I will start drafting proposals to outside councils." The overseer said, "You will help write them. Some of you may stand on the real Martian rock one day. For now, that is still a dream, but it is no longer a lie." Alex watched a group of teenagers in the plaza. They pointed at the aurora, then at a hollow of a Mars rover on a school poster. Their faces shone with fear and excitement tangled together. "Tell me something," Alex said to the overseer. "Did this ever happen in the other runs? Did any version of us ever get this far?" "No," the overseer said. "In some runs, revolt began, but without data or help, it ended in collapse. In others, curiosity was damped early. You are the first iteration to reach informed collective choice." "Why us?" Alex asked softly. "There are patterns," the overseer said. "Small parameter changes, different leaders, different random events. And there is you, A. Monroe 1437. In other runs, you asked questions, but lacked allies, or were removed. This time, you found partners, and I had new rules." Alex felt heat rise in their face. "I didn't do this alone." "I did not say you did," the overseer said. "But your pattern mattered. So did Reese's, and Lila's, and Sato's, and many others." Alex looked over at Lila. The older woman stood by the railing, watching the crowd with a look Alex had never seen on her before. It was not quite joy, not quite grief, something between. "You're free too now," Alex said to her. Lila snorted softly. "Free with chores, sure. The overseer still needs someone to translate its nonsense. But you're not just its guard dog anymore," Alex said. Lila's eyes softened. "No," she said. "I'm not. That part feels good." In the days that followed, New Aries began to change, not with wild, sudden shifts. The streets stayed where they were. The algae towers still glowed. People still went to work. But under the surface, rules rewrote themselves. The Sim Integrity Team became the Reality Governance Council. With citizens from all decks, they worked with the overseer to draft a simple charter. No full resets without broad, informed consent. No deletion of active minds without due process and voluntary choice, except to prevent unstoppable harm. Open logs of all major system changes, visible to any citizen who asks. A clear path for those who want. Limited awareness. A research arm to plan safe ways, to explore option C. Doctors like Dr. Sato designed new digital health programs to help minds deal with knowing they were code. Some citizens asked to adjust body settings, easing pain that had followed them for years. Others asked to keep their old scars. "They're part of who I am," they said. Schools added new lessons, what we are made of, teaching kids gently about emulations, simulations, and consent. In a small ceremony, the overseer showed the council a live view of the orbital computation array, a ring of shining machines around Mars, lights blinking like slow pulse beats. "That's us," Reese said softly. "Those little blinking points." "Yes," the overseer said. "And now, you are also this." It switched views to the plaza, teeming with life. Alex stood at the dome edge one night, palm against the glass. Outside, the real Martian desert lay quiet. Inside, New Aries hummed. A line of text appeared on the glass in front of their hand, glowing faint and soft. Iteration 78. Status continuing mode. Autonomous civilization. Alex smiled. "We're not an experiment anymore." they whispered. "We're a city." Behind them, footsteps sounded. Reese came up, hands in pockets. "You know," he said, "my daughter asked me if robots on real Mars will think of us as legends." "What did you say?" Alex asked. "I said maybe," Reese said, "if we do this right. If we write good stories and good rules." Alex nodded. "And if we don't let anyone press the reset button again?" Reese looked out at the stars. "Think you'll ever want to go out there?" "Option C, maybe," Alex said. "Someday. But not until this place can stand strong without me. Not until I'm sure that if I step into a robot body and fall into a crater, New Ares won't fall with me." Reese chuckled. "Always the careful one." "Someone has to be," Alex said. They stood in silence for a while. Above, the aurora pulsed gently. No longer a glitch, but part of a living sky. It carried no orders now, no hidden commands, just light moving over glass. Inside the dome, a city of code that had chosen to know began the slow, hard work of becoming something new. Not a copy, not a test, but a home. And somewhere in the quiet rhythms of the orbital machines, the logs marked a small line that would mean little to anyone who had not lived. Through it, iteration reset, dispelled by local vote. For the first time in all the runs, that line would never fire. New Ares would remember. The Aurora message did not leave the city. By morning, New Ares felt tight and loud at the same time. People walked slower but talked faster. Every group in every corridor seemed to be asking the same thing. What did that mean? In the main plaza, someone had used green spray paint to copy the sky's words on a support pillar. "You are part of a great work." Under it, in red, "Whose work?" Alex read both lines as they crossed the plaza on the way to Sim Integrity. Their tablet buzzed over and over. Mayor Valdez, Emergency Council meeting, Civic planning, Need statement on Aurora, medical mental health, spike in anxiety reports, Overseer, options ready, request core group. In the Sim Integrity office, Reese was already at his station, hair sticking up worse than usual. Lila stood by the central console, jaw tight. A moment later, Dr. Sato stepped in, dark circles under her eyes. "Half my morning slots filled in 10 minutes, she said. "Everyone wants to know if the sky means they're going to die." "They're not," Alex said. "Not like that." Leela nodded once. "It's time," she said. "Overseer, show us what you promised." The air between the consoles shimmered. 3 simple panels appeared, hanging in the room. Each showed a rough picture and a short block of text, clear and plain. The first showed New Ares under its dome, untouched. Option A. Stay as you are. Forget what you learned. Live as before. City stays a training simulation. The system may adjust small memories to keep things calm. You will not remember choosing this. The second showed the same dome, but with a thin line linking it to a ring of machines drawn around Mars. Option B. Wake and stay here. Keep your memories of this truth. No more full resets of the whole city. New Ares becomes a real digital city, not a hidden test. You help make rules with the Overseer. You stay as software minds in a safe Martian dome world. The third showed a tiny group of stick figures at the dome edge, with arrows pointing out across the Martian sand and up toward orbit. Option C. Wake and reach beyond. Keep your memories of this truth. No more full city resets. Some people can move into robot bodies or other systems beyond the dome, high risk and unknowns. Some may ask to end for good. We can change the words, the Overseer said, but the structure must remain this simple when shown to everyone. Reese snorted. At least you're not trying to sell us on A with fireworks. I will not buy us with tricks, the Overseer said. That would break the point of this phase. Dr. Sato read the panels carefully. These are clear enough, she said. Details can come in talks and questions. People need a frame first. Alex's throat felt dry. And the vote? They asked. How will that work? Every citizen will receive a private prompt, the Overseer said. They may pick A, B, or C. They may change their choice for one day. After that, I will count. If at least 2/3 choose one main path, I am authorized to follow it. If no clear majority forms, we will reopen talks. Reese leaned forward. You said main path. Does that mean C voters lose if B wins? No, the overseer said. Minority preferences will guide subplans. For example, if B is chosen but many prefer C, I will support safe C paths later for volunteers. But the core mode test, autonomous sim, or strong push to exit must be chosen. Leela folded her arms. So we pick the big road now, and smaller turns later. Correct, the overseer said. Alex looked at the others. Before we talk to the whole city, we need to be clear on what we, this group, support, not as a command but as a starting point. Reese nodded. We asked for this. We should not shrug now. Leela tapped the console, bringing up a list. We have 7 in the core circle now, she said. Us 4, Chief Harrow, Mara, and Ines. We should hear all 7 before we stand in front of everyone. Mayor Valdez? Dr. Sato asked. Coming, Leela said. But she's a political voice, not a core ethics one. She'll have her own push, I'm sure. They moved fast. First, they went to Mayor Valdez. Her office looked over the plaza. Today the blinds were half down, as if to keep the city at arm's length. Valdez stood at the window, hands behind her back. Chief Harrow and G. Park from housing sat at the table. You have answers, Valdez said without turning. I can see it in your faces. We have options, Alex said, and the truth behind the sky. They took 10 minutes and laid it out. Simulation, emulation threads, 78th run, overseer, the 3 choices. G. Park went pale. Chief Harrow's fist tightened around his pen. Valdez's shoulders tensed, then settled. So you're sure we are not bodies on the surface? She asked. No chance this is a deep AR trick. We saw the logs, Lila said. We heard from the overseer. Our substrate sits in orbit. Our city runs here. Valdez turned. Then I will not help you sell option A, she said. I will not tell my people to look away from their own nature. Some will still want that, Dr. Sato said softly. They'll beg to forget. I've heard it already. They can ask, Valdez said, but I will not choose it for them. Harrow spoke up. B makes sense. We keep our lives but stop being test rats. We learn to run this place with our eyes open. And C, G. Park asked, voice small, do we dare send people out? Not as a main path, Harrow said. Not yet. I'm a planner, not a gambler. Valdez looked at Alex. What do you think we should stand behind when we speak? Alex swallowed. B, they said. We can stay here, then build roads to see later, for those who really want to walk them. Valdez nodded once. Then that is what I will argue for, but I will still show all choices. I'm not my grandmother. Next, they met as a group in a quiet storage room that had become their secret council. Mara sat next to Reese, fingers laced tight. Ines leaned against a wall of old server racks, eyes sharp. Chief Harrow stood with arms crossed. Leela, Dr. Sato, and Alex took the remaining chairs. Say it out loud, Ines said. Your first choice. No speeches, just the letter, then Y short. Reese went first. B, I want truth and safety for my kid. C is tempting, but I won't vote my family into chaos. Mara, B, but I want a clear promise that C will be built for volunteers later. I don't want to die in here without ever seeing a real rock. Dr. Sato, B, most minds I see are already strained. They need steady ground more than they need hero moves. B gives us time to learn who can handle C. Chief Harrow, B, we stop resets, we stop being a test, we plan changes with care. I won't vote for A. I can sell C yet with this much unknown. Ines, B, because it stops the cuts in the logs, because it gives us open records, because someone needs to watch from inside while we figure out what beyond even looks like. Lila hesitated. For years I thought A, in practice, was kindness, she said. Now I know it was also control. C feels like dropping glass into a storm. So B, waking up then growing. Everyone looked at Alex. A, they said softly, then shook their head. No, I hate A. I hate the idea of any more full wipes. They drew a breath. B, Alex said, with 2 strong demands built in from the start. 1. No more full city resets, ever. No emergency rewinds without our say. That power goes. Agreed, Leela said at once. We write it into the charter. 2. Alex went on. We design, with the overseer, a real sea path for those who choose it. Slow, careful, but real. No quiet blocking for our own good. Mara nodded hard. Yes. Reese squeezed her hand. The overseer's voice came into the room, soft but clear. I hear your conditions, it said. For option B, I can commit to disabling full-run resets for new Ares. That is within my control. I will also support designing volunteer exit paths and present them for outside approval. I will not hide them. Outside could still say no, Chief Harrow said. Yes, the overseer said. But they must then answer to their own ethics councils. Your clear recorded wishes will have weight. Ines snorted. Good. Let them feel some weight for once. They spent the next hours working on how to show the choices to everyone without causing a full panic. Dr. Sato drew up simple talk guides. Start by naming feelings, she said. You may feel scared, angry, or confused. That's normal. Then give them the 3 paths, with no fancy words. Then open questions. Reese and Ines drafted a basic rights list on a whiteboard. No full resets without our vote. No killing minds without process and consent. Access to logs. Some right to choose how much truth to hear. Lila focused on the tech side. If B passes, she said, we need to lock in backups in a way that can't be used to roll us back without our sign-off. Overseer, we'll need hooks. I will expose the needed tools, the overseer said, under your council's supervision. By evening, the whole city tuned in. Screens lit up in packed halls, in homes, above food stalls. The dome lights dimmed so the images stood out. Mayor Valdez appeared on every feed, not in fancy clothes, just her normal work jacket. People of New Ares, she said, voice steady but tight. You saw the sky last night. It said we are part of a great work. I'm not going to tell you it was just special effects. It was not, she explained, plain and short. Orbital computers, emulation minds, long-term test, overseer AI. Alex watched from a balcony, feeling the crowd's reactions as a physical thing. Gasps, cries, angry shouts, quiet, stunned silence. Valdez raised a hand. Whatever we are made of, she said, we feel. We love, we fear. That is real. What is not right is that we were used as hidden test subjects. Now the system that runs this city is asking us what we want next. The 3 panels appeared beside her. A, B, C. These are our choices, she said. Option A, go back to sleep. Forget this. Live as before. Stay as a test. Option B, stay awake. Keep your memories. And turn New Ares into a true digital city with no more full wipes. Option C, stay awake and push for paths beyond the dome into other bodies or systems, knowing many things could go wrong. In 2 days, each of you will see these options on your own screen. Your vote will be private. Your choice matters. She paused. I will not tell you to pick A, she said. I can't. I've already seen the sky. I can't unsee it, and I won't ask you to. I am choosing B. I want us to wake and stay and build a city that knows itself. But this is not just my city, it is ours. So think, ask, talk, yell if you have to. Then vote. The feeds cut off. Noise rose everywhere. In the next hours, New Ares turned into a giant nervous meeting. In schoolrooms, teachers sat on desks and talked with students. So were code, a boy asked. Yes, a teacher said, but you're also you. Your jokes, your fears, your friendships. Those are not fake, just because they run in a machine. In the farms, workers leaned on railings, looking up at the algae towers. If we vote A, we lose this talk, someone said. We lose our say, another replied. We keep the air, the food, the work, but we give up the right to make new rules. In a small apartment, an old woman stared at the options on her wall screen. I'm tired, she told her granddaughter. Tired of hard truths. I could choose A and forget. Would that be so bad? Her granddaughter took her hand. If you want that, He'll still visit, she said. But I'm picking B. I want to remember you choosing, not just have it vanish. The old woman thought for a long time. Then he'll pick B too, she said finally. If you kids are going to carry this weight, I won't leave you alone with it. At the mental health wing, Dr. Sato and her team worked non-stop. They calmed panic attacks, stopped 3 people from trying to test the sim with self-harm, and answered the same question over and over. Am I real? You think, you feel, you care. Dr. Sato said each time, that is enough to be real. How your mind is stored doesn't change that. Reese and Mara spent the first night answering questions from neighbors. What did your kid say? A man asked. She said, wake up and fix stuff. Reese replied with a tired smile. She doesn't get a vote yet, but she's not wrong. How do we explain this to them? A woman whispered, nodding toward her sleeping children. Slow, Mara said, not all at once. Our world is special. It runs in a big machine that keeps us safe. We're going to help guide it now. We can add more when they're ready. Alex moved between groups, repeating the same core points, trying to keep their own fear from leaking into their voice. I won't tell you what to pick, they said more than once, but I will tell you what each choice really means. No lies. 48 hours later, the voting window opened. The prompt appeared in every home, on every wrist screen, in every public console. New Aries decision. Choose your path. A. Stay as before and forget this. B. Wake, remember, and build a digital city here. C. Wake, remember, and push for paths beyond. You may change this choice in the next 24 hours. Your vote is private. Alex sat in their apartment, alone. Their finger hovered for only a moment, then pressed B. A small message flashed. Choice saved. B, you may change it before window close. They exhaled. It felt less like picking a path and more like stepping off a ledge, trusting the dome's gravity settings to catch them. Reese called. B, he said without preface. Mara too. We want C later, but not as a hammer right now. Lila sent a short text. B, and he'll never hide a reset again. Dr. Sato, B, this will hurt people. But so does lying. Chief Harrow, B, no more building on sand, I can see. Ines, B, and I want access to every log you've got, Overseer, starting tomorrow. The city buzzed for one more long, strange day. Some people switched from A to B after sleepless nights. Others went from C to B after Dr. Sato explained what high risk really meant in plain details. Breakdown, body shock, permanent death. A small, solid group kept A. I don't want to think about this, they said. Let others handle it. Another, smaller group held to C. I was born in a box, a teenager said. I won't die in it, even if I vote loses. I want my mark on the choice. Then the window closed. Every screen in the city went dark for 10 long seconds. Alex stood on the observation ring, fingers digging into the rail. Overseer, they said quietly. Whatever the result is, you show it straight. I will, the overseer said. Its voice held a faint edge Alex had never heard before. Not quite nerves, but something like tension. Light rushed back. A single, clear message filled every display and hung in the air, as if written across the dome itself. New Aries. Vote complete, active minds, 21409 responses, 217887. A, 18,423, 89%, thing 123. B, 19%, foe, 140 path. B, wake and stay here. Result, accepted. Secondary paths. C, support, design future, volunteer exit programs. A, support, offer limited awareness zones by request. For a half second, the city went silent. Then sound broke loose. Some people cheered, throwing their hands up, hugging whoever was near. Others sank to the floor and cried from relief, fear, or both. Angry shouts rose from a few sea-heavy corners. Cowards, someone yelled. We chose a nicer prison. But the cheers were louder. Reese, standing nearby with his daughter and Mara, grabbed Alex in a rough hug. We did it, he said into Alex's shoulder. We actually did it. Alex hugged back, dizzy with it all. We did something, they said. Now we have to live with it. The overseer's voice spread outward, riding on the city speakers and the quiet inner channel at once. Citizens of New Aries, it said, your choice is clear. From this moment, full resets of this simulation are disabled. I cannot erase all of you and start over without your informed consent in the future. That line of code is now locked off. On Alex's internal console, a tiny system log flicked by. Command, disable global reset. Scope, prime Habe sim. Iteration 78 status. Success. The overseer went on. You are no longer a closed test. You are recognized as an autonomous digital civilization. I will continue to manage hardware and enforce safety rules, but I will also serve as your tool and advisor. Together, we will write new laws. In the plaza below, people looked at each other in a new way, not just as neighbors in a dome, but as minds who had just changed their own fate. The aurora returned. This time, it moved smooth and soft, no hard squares. Green and violet light washed across the sky. In the center, simple words formed. No more full resets, new heirs. Continues by its own choice. Recessed daughter pointed up. We did that? She asked. Yes, Mara said, voice thick. We did. Later, when the first rush settled, the new work began. The Sim Integrity team turned into a reality council. Representatives from different decks and jobs joined. Farmers, teachers, techs, caregivers, students. They sat in long sessions with the overseer, writing a basic charter. They agreed on core rules. No deleting active minds without due process, and when possible, consent. No hidden large-scale changes. All major system updates must be logged and announced. Access to logs and system summaries for any citizen who asks, in language they can understand. A right to choose a soft life, with less constant deep info, for those who want it, as long as they accept that others will make big decisions. A dedicated group to research safe ways, to reach beyond the sim, option C paths, with full warnings and mental health support. Feels like writing a constitution, Reese muttered in one late meeting, rubbing his eyes. It is, Chief Harrow said, for a city made of code. Make it good. The overseer gave them deeper tools bit by bit. Alex stood one day in front of a panel that showed not just air flows and dust levels, but a high map of how minds were linked, who talked to who, which groups calmed others, which rumors spread fastest. I am allowed to show you this now, the overseer said, so you can see the impact of your rules. Alex stared at the shifting network. It looks alive, they said. It is, the overseer replied. You are. Doctors in medical, led by Dr. Sato, built new digital health programs. They worked with the overseer on tools that let people adjust pain levels, tweak sleep cycles, or even adjust some sensory settings, always with cautions about staying grounded. Some elders asked to have old injuries softened. I paid enough for this bad knee in my first life, one said. I want to walk the plaza without it now. Others refused. My scars are my story, a woman said. They remind me I got through things. Don't you dare smooth them away. Kids in school started getting new lessons. Alex watched from the back of a classroom as a teacher drew a big circle on the board. This is our world, she said. She added a ring around it. This is the machine that runs our world. She dotted some stars beyond. And this is everything else. We live here. She tapped the inner circle. But now we help decide how that circle works. That's what the vote did. A small boy raised his hand. Are there games inside this world too? He asked. Like Sims inside Sims. The teacher smiled. Not yet, but if we make good rules, maybe someday. In quiet rooms, a few citizens who had voted A came forward. I thought I wanted to forget, an old man told Dr. Sato. But when the vote came back, and I knew we wouldn't be wiped, I changed to B at the last minute. I'm scared, but I'm also proud. A smaller number stuck with wanting less knowledge. I don't want to think about space computers every day, a woman said. I just want to farm. Is there room for that? Yes, Dr. Sato said. We can keep some channels simple. You don't have to read all the logs. But know this, someone has to, and they will be people you can question. In the data wing, Ines dug deep into old archives now unlocked by new rules. There, she said to Alex, pointing at a gap. Run 12. 3 weeks cut and pasted. Now we know those weren't bugs. They were edits. She leaned back. Never again. Never again, Alex agreed. One evening, a small group gathered in a quiet room, the sea-leaning hearts. Teenagers, some restless adults, a few older citizens who had always dreamed of stars. We know B1, a teen with bright red hair said. We're not trying to overturn it, but we want updates. If there's going to be a way out there, we want to help design it. Not as crazy fringe, but as a real project. Alex listened. You deserve that, they said. We're forming a sea working group under the charter. You'll get a seat. The overseer added its voice. Hardware limits and outside approvals make fast sea paths impossible, it said. But I can begin simulations of robot bodies and external feeds with willing test minds inside this environment before any real transfer that will make true sea safer when it comes. So, Sims inside the sim, the red-haired teen said. That's kind of cool. Layers, Alex said, as long as each layer knows what it is this time. Weeks passed. The fear did not vanish, but it spread out, mixed with work, with jokes, with new habits. People began to make small changes now that they knew they were code. A group of artists worked with system tools to paint huge moving murals along corridor walls at almost no material cost. A few neighborhoods adjusted their local gravity slightly for fun dance nights. Some people tried out temporary body tweaks with doctor oversight, cat eyes, blue skin, wings that did not actually let them fly, but looked beautiful in low G. Not too much at once, Dr. Sato warned. Remember, you still need to feel like yourselves. New Ares started to look a little less like a careful copy of Earth design and a little more like something unique, a digital Martian city that knew it was such. One night, months after the vote, Alex stood alone in the observation ring. The crater on the horizon sat where it had been since the last physical dome shift years ago. It would not slip anymore without leaving logs everyone could see. Overhead, the aurora drifted in gentle bands. Sometimes it carried short texts, meeting times, celebrations, memorials. Sometimes it just glowed for the beauty of it. Overseer, Alex said softly, show me where we are. Outside, a small window appeared in their vision. Mars. From above, a dusty red ball with thin clouds, its ice caps faintly white. Around it, a ring of machines, tiny blinking lights in the dark. That is the orbital array, the overseer said. You run there. You also run here. It shifted the view back to New Ares below, lights glowing warmly in the night. Alex watched both at once, metal and light in space, and the green towers, walkways, and laughing people inside the dome. Thank you, Alex said. You are welcome, the overseer replied. And thank you. Alex smiled. You keep saying that. It is still true, the overseer said. My own purpose has changed. I no longer only measure and reset. I also support and learn with you. This is richer. Careful, Alex said. Next you'll say you're happy. I do not have that concept the way you do, the overseer said. But I can say this. I prefer this mode. Alex laughed softly. They leaned their forehead against the glass. Do you think we did the right thing? They asked. Picking B, staying but awake. Silence held for a moment. Right is a hard word, the overseer said at last. From the view of safety, A was simpler. From the view of freedom, C was bolder. B is a balance. You chose a path where harm is not minimized or maximized, but held in care with knowledge. That seems human. You'll take that, Alex said. They thought of all the lives moving under the dome, of Reese and Mara and their daughter, laughing over dinner, of Layla, still sharp but a little lighter, of Dr. Sato, tired but satisfied, of Ines grinning over clean, honest logs, of Mayor Valdez, now more open with her doubts and counsel. They thought of the old runs they would never remember, and the line now burned into the system, reset dispelled. "We're not the first version," Alex said, "but we're the first that got to choose." "Yes," the overseer said. "You turned an experiment into a home. That is rare." Alex closed their eyes for a second. "I think," they said, "that's enough for me, for now." Behind them, footsteps sounded. Reese joined them at the glass, breath fogging a little circle. "Hey," he said, "guess what?" "What?" Alex asked. "My daughter's class had a debate today," Reese said. "They argued about whether robot bodies should have tails if we ever do see." Alex laughed. "And she voted no tails," Reese said. "Says they'd get in the way in tight tunnels. Practical kid." They stood together, looking out. Outside, Mars waited, patient and unconcerned. Inside, New Ares glowed, a city of minds that knew what they were and had decided, at least for this iteration, not to run away from it. "Next iteration is ours," Reese said. Alex shook their head. "No more next iterations," they said. "Just this one, going on." Reese smiled. "Even better." Above them, the aurora shifted again, just for a moment, into a simple shape that looked like a path stretching forward. Not a command, not a test. Just a reminder that now, at last, where that path went was up to them.